Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture.
And I'm Andy Murray from Limp Bizkit. And coming up today, we're going to talk about Charlotte Flair's return timetable in WWE. It is rather complicated, let's say. We're going to give you the updated card for tonight's AEW Fight for the Fallen. And on top of that, we're going to talk about Kevin Owens, who might want to go back to NXT.
Plus, Raw did its lowest ever viewership on Monday night, and Cody teases AEW potentially coming to UK TV. This is the news.
Let's kick things off by talking about Chaz Flair. She's currently off our TV screen. She was written off from Raw. Angle with Nia Jax beating her up. There was news in the aftermath that she was going to have some surgery, but there were conflicting reports. Some said that she would be back for SummerSlam or hoped to be back for SummerSlam. Others said she was set for a longer break and would be gone as long, potentially, as the Royal Rumble. Now, we've had some clarification from Charlotte herself this week. She said that the surgery she is having is to fix a complication from a prior surgery that was to fix a complication from cosmetic surgery. There's more details on it from Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio. Spoke about this yesterday. He says basically that, everything is kind of up in the air in WWE with regards to this at the moment because the nature of her surgery is a little bit uncertain with regards to the recovery time. And on top of that, she's also got the upcoming TV project, which was first hinted at by her father. Ryan Satin tweeted yesterday saying, from what I've heard, it's not a reality show that Charlotte is doing. It's a scripted show with a big network, though he is still trying to get more information. That information hasn't yet materialized in the time between the tweet and this video going out, but it sounds like a big enough deal that it could conceivably keep Charlotte off TV for even longer. So the update today essentially is there is no update apart from all these little updates. We just can't give you like a concrete timetable, but for the meanwhile, just expect her to be gone for a while. At the end of the day, I kind of like that things are a bit muddier, not from her health perspective, obviously. I obviously hope that she recovers from the surgery very, very quickly, and the TV experience is as painless and as simple and as straightforward and as unobtrusive as it needs to be. But from a fan's perspective, it's cool not knowing when she's going to be back, because when she does come back, and if it's not like, oh, she's back next week, you'll get a nice surprise, whether that's a month from now or 3 months from now. So, it is what it is, good and bad.
Yeah, I mean, we reported this story a little bit on Monday regarding the surgery side of things, and I think if you ask many fans, they'd probably say they'd be totally fine with her coming back around sort of Royal Rumble season. I think this period of her not being on TV is kind of best for everyone. Obviously to recover, as you mentioned, from the surgery, to do TV projects, but also just to give fans a time to miss her a little bit. And we've seen, although I'm about to talk about the viewership, we've seen at the very least in terms of women being given an opportunity. Again, actually, aside from that karaoke bollocks on SmackDown, we've seen, once again, Asuka stepping up to the plate along with a whole host of others, Bayley, Sasha, etc. Really showcasing the fact that, yes, WWE no doubt were very worried when Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair were away at the same time, but they needn't have been because their women's roster is absolutely stacked.
It's very, very deep indeed. And, Becky Lynch was great. Becky Lynch's run was absolutely tremendous. And, I say was, she'll be back someday in some shape or form. But has the programming missed her that much? I'm not entirely convinced it has. Now, obviously, the show would be a little bit better if she was on it right now and mingling with all these great people. But all these people stepping up has just been great for Raw, for SmackDown, for NXT as well. It's been fantastic. The high-level stuff is very, very high-level indeed. There's still some crap going on the mid-card, right? The karaoke you've just spoken about. And it's a shame that Shayna Baszler and Bianca Belair were just off TV for no reason, but they're back now. So it's getting better. And again, let me reiterate, I'm not saying that Becky Lynch sucks or anything, because she's great. And the show would probably be better with her around. But at the same time, everyone else has stepped up, and that has definitely compensated for her stepping away, and Charlotte now as well.
Yeah, exactly. Just glad that they finally remembered about Shayna Baszler and Bianca Belair on our pushing them. Even if Bianca Belair is now randomly Ruby Riot's best mate.
The Riot Squad 2.0.
Okay.
Cool.
Let's talk a little bit more about Monday Night Raw, though, because some terrible news breaking last night and overnight regarding their viewership. Raw registering its lowest viewership ever with an average of just 1.56 million viewers across its 3 hours. Previous low, 1.68 million. That was this year too, 4th of May 2020. And now, to balance things out, I'm going to talk about the demographics as we would do the Wednesday Night War. Raw was still the night's 4th most watched show in the 18 to 49 demographic, although it was down when you compare it to previous ratings, of course. But it's just the way things are nowadays, it seems, Andy, especially considering the ongoing global bastard. Look, the product isn't at its best, but also with what's going on in the world right now, this is to be expected. And you know, you pointed out in your write-up of this could well happen again and again this year.
Yeah, I think this will just keep going until the crisis has eased itself off. I think we'll be reporting this story a couple more times over the next couple of months. And it's not, try not to be pessimistic about the whole thing, but at the same time, you just got to be realistic. And the numbers for wrestling are down. Raw's demos and stuff are down considerably more than other shows, or at least they were at one point. And it's just not a whole lot of fun to watch at the moment for a lot of people. Now, the real question after this becomes, well, do those people return once the situation eases off? You would certainly hope so, but I don't think it's guaranteed, and it's going to be something to monitor for sure once fans return and everything goes back to the new normal, whatever that new normal may be. Now, I think another interesting kind of talking point surrounding this all-time low rating is Wednesday nights, right? So we've been talking about this all year, Michael Hamflett in particular. Raw may fall to the combined viewership and the combined rating, the 18 to 49 rating of AEW and NXT at one point this year. Could this week be it? Because if you compare last week's numbers, I believe the combined total for AEW and NXT was something like 1.47 million. So it's not far off. It's about 100,000 off from Raw's this week. Much closer, however, is the 18 to 49 demographic. 0.47 combined for NXT and AEW that last week, and 0.4. What did we say? 0.48, 0.46?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, 0.48 it was for Raw this week. So there's a good chance if AEW and NXT can build some kind of momentum this week, and AEW has the special Fight for the Fallen show, NXT has a Women's Championship match, and Keith Lee probably doing something cool. Man, this might be the week. I'm not going to put my pasty bet on that side or anything like that because I'm not confident enough to give away a goddamn sausage roll. But I'm feeling it, man. I think, there's a good chance.
Yeah, I reckon you're right. I reckon Hamflett is going to join me in the Predictions Club always being right when he suggested that AEW and NXT might finally defeat Monday Night Raw in the ratings. We'll discuss it a little bit later on. Make sure you listen to our conversation and our preview of the Wednesday Night War by searching for WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from.
And speaking of NXT stuff, Kevin Owens, he's given a new interview with CBS Sports. Brent Brookhouse of CBS Sports, that's a really good name. He was speaking about all kinds of things, but one of them was a potential return to NXT. And in this interview, he revealed that it's something... He talks to Triple H a lot, right? And when they talk, this is sometimes something that comes up in conversation. But he says the whole thing is about timing, basically. Kevin Owens has also brought this idea of returning to NXT either on a short-term deal or a long-term... I'm a mess. He's brought it up with Vince McMahon as well, so he's gone all the way to the top. He's talked about it with the big man. Here's a direct quote from him. I have been vocal about wanting to go back there as I'd love to help make NXT grow even more and help make it as big as it can be so that we have 3 brands that people know about. I would love for people to be just as aware of NXT as they are about Raw or SmackDown. He also went on, he said that he'd love to go back, but at the end of the day, he just wants to go wherever he is needed to try and make a difference regardless of whatever brand that may be. So it sounds like going back to NXT is definitely something that's still in his mind. Owens came through the WWE system in NXT in 2014, had that amazing Night 1 angle where he got his nose broke by CJ Parker, beat him in the opener, then killed Sami Zayn after he just won the title at that TakeOver event. He was out of NXT very quickly. He was gone by 2015, the very next year, and he returned to War Games this year. Huge pop. Last year, sorry. Huge pop there. That was one of the pops of the years. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's something that a lot of people would like to see, but at the end of the day, also, Kevin Owens is really good on Raw as well. So it's a balancing act for sure. Let's just let him do whatever makes him happy, I guess.
Yeah, I want to see Kevin Owens on all the shows because I think he's fantastic. But Yeah, I don't see why this should be much of an issue. You know, yes, NXT is still technically the developmental brand, but they're trying to putting it on a level footing with Raw and SmackDown. And I would like to see more talent. You know, we talked about people being brought up to Monday Night Raw and to SmackDown, but yeah, I don't see why talent can't go the other way, especially like Kevin Owens says, to enhance talent, to work with up-and-comers, etc., etc. Look, I don't want this to end up like ECW was, where they just fob off any main roster talent they couldn't be arsed with to ECW. But yeah, I don't see why people who are passionate about working with developing wrestlers or have just kind of done everything there is to do on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown don't get utilised on NXT. I think that's the right decision, and I think Kevin Owens is a prime candidate for something like that. And I just love the fact whenever he speaks to Triple H is like, do you want to come back to my show? Or it's up to you, I don't mind, I'm not bothered. Right, let's talk a little bit about AEW and their live TV deal in the UK. This has been a source of interest for over a year now. Cody was chatting to TalkSport's Alex McCarthy and shed new light on a potential new TV deal in the UK. Now, of course, prior to AEW's launch in Great Britain and worldwide, but in particular here, it was suggested it was going to be on ITV, of course, a massive terrestrial TV network. That wasn't the case when it comes to just sort of regular TV, etc. If you want to basically watch Dynamite, you have to have a Fight TV subscription, or there are other means. But anyway, mainly you have to have a Fight TV subscription, $4.99 a month, so you can watch it in the immediate aftermath. Yes, they do put the show on, but you put a gun to my head and I won't be able to tell you when Dynamite is on ITV or ITV4 or wherever they've shoved it now. But anyway, Cody chatting to Alex McCarthy suggested that they still want to work through a live TV deal in the UK. He said that he and Tony Khan have a real vested interest in the UK. It's definitely not impossible, but TNT does pay a, quote, great premium to have their product on in the United States. So you want to respect both sides of the coin. So if ITV wants it, they're going to have to pay up.
Yeah, pay top dollar. AEW got a load of criticism when the TV deal kind of unraveled just before Dynamite aired, because a lot of people felt they were made to believe that it was going to be live, and then it was like, hey, if you want to watch it live, you have to pay $4.99 a week or whatever, a month, sorry. We're going to show it on Saturday or Sunday morning. Again, like you, man, I have no idea what time it's on ITV now, because I watch it on Fight TV. I want to watch it live. I want to watch it, or when I wake up at like 4 a.m. or whatever. That's the only real option at the moment. But, Cody also points out like something good here. It's a good point. WWE in their TV negotiations, they have like 60 years head start on people, man. Like, they've been around a lot longer. AEW is a product that needs to build a level of trust with broadcasters and so forth, and cultivate its own reputation. So, yes, certain people probably got ahead of themselves when it was like, hey, we're going to be on ITV live, and then it wasn't. But, maybe it wasn't a realistic goal in the first place. Who knows? I'd love to see it live on the TV channel. You want to see companies do well, regardless.
I don't know what ITV have on at the time of, like, what would it be, like 1 a.m. on a Thursday morning? But come on. And if they do manage to work out a TV deal with ITV, that'd be a huge boost for AEW, in my opinion. You're not going to have millions of people staying up, but ITV is one of the biggest broadcasters here in the UK. Could be a game changer, that, for AEW.
Yeah, it could be a big one. They're already doing, I think last week's Dynamite did something like 117,000 viewers in the UK on the 11, whenever it airs, a couple of days after. That's a good number for a replay in a much smaller country, obviously, than the United States. So, yeah, live would be nice. Fight for the Fallen. That's the show tonight for AEW. That's this week's kind of supercard. Seems like we're getting like a little crazy Dynamite special every week at the moment, but this is the last of them for a while. A couple of new additions to the card to report. We'll go over those first. These were confirmed yesterday. So we're going to see the Nightmare Sisters, which is Ali and Brandy, in action, which means they're going to squash someone. And we're also getting a segment from Chris Jericho, who we are told has something to say after beating Orange Cassidy at Fyter Fest. So that should be fun. The rest of the card is great. From an in-ring perspective, the Elite, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express. We got FTR versus the Lucha Brothers, 2-on-2 for the first time ever. We got TNT Championship match, Cody defending against Sonny Kiss, continuing the theme of extending title shots to mid-carders and lower mid-card wrestlers, and a world title match, Jon Moxley defending against Brian Cage. That's been the big feud. Supposed to go down at Fyter Fest, but then the Global Bastard and Renee Young and quarantine stuff happened, but it's happening now, and that's what's really important. This is a really cool little card. You've got a lot of potentially great work, great stuff from those tag matches. Cody versus Sonny Kiss is something I'm really looking forward to, because Sonny Kiss rules. He's so much fun to watch. His athletic stuff is great. He's just a really attention-grabbing wrestler, loads of personality in the ring as well. And on top of all this, the LGBTQ plus community is woefully underrepresented in professional wrestling, so it's good to see him getting this opportunity here. I think him and Cody are going to kill it. I think Cody's going to make him look like a bigger star. And then the main event, man, that should be so much fun. I hope we get a really ripping Taz promo as well, because for me, he's been one of the best things about this rivalry.
Yeah, an absolutely mouth-watering set of matches on AEW tonight. Those tag matches are just so exciting alongside the championship matches, as you said. And let's not forget NXT, all the fallout from double champ Keith Lee winning the titles, or one of the titles to make him double champ, I suppose. And a women's championship match, Io Shirai versus Tegan Nox. That is going to bang as well. It is just great match / pay-per-view central this week, isn't it? We've got this. We've got Slammiversary on Saturday, and then on Sunday, to top it all off, the cherry on the icing on the cake, the horror show at Extreme Rules, but with potentially 3 cinematic matches.
Give me that mess. I'm here for it.
Right, let's move on to your Twitter questions at WhatCulture WWE. Of course, if you want to get in touch with us. First question today comes from Gary David Watts, who says, if The Undertaker's daughter Kaya does indeed become a wrestler, could WWE do a once-in-a-lifetime feud between herself and Charlotte, like they did with Cena and Rock, only kept to one match? I'd never even considered this, Andy.
I wouldn't have thought of that in a million years. How old is The Undertaker's daughter would be my question to that, because Charlotte Flair strikes me as somebody like Becky Lynch, who might not necessarily want to wrestle into like her 40s and stuff. And I believe she's already in her early 30s and so forth. So she might be looking at other opportunities with this TV stuff coming up, and she probably wants to start a family someday as well. So I think it's a really cool idea, and I think it would look really good on paper. The Undertaker's daughter versus Ric Flair. That's awesome. That's an awesome idea, but the practicality of it is, well, 10 years from now, or I really should know the age of...
if you saw me pull a funny face whilst Andy was talking there, it's because I've just Googled it. And the match is definitely feasible, Andy, because this August, Kaya turns 8. So there you go.
And... looking at my laptop on Google, very professional, Charlotte is 34. So a 49-year-old Charlotte Flair versus a 23-year-old Kaya Undertaker. That's her name. I love the idea, not to poo-poo it. I just don't know if it's practical.
I do just... Also, let's just caveat this with, just because you're the child of a very famous wrestler doesn't automatically make you an amazing wrestler. Charlotte Flair is the sensation, but I mean, we've definitely done a list on second and third generation stars that were...
It's a pretty simple equation with this one, isn't it? Charlotte Flair, David Flair.
Yeah, there you go. Second question today comes from Christian James NU, who says, do you guys think Cody should drop the TNT title to Sonny Kiss on Dynamite?
Not yet for me. I think that the run has a lot of legs. I feel like the open challenge thing is too exciting to give up with Cody in particular, because Cody is so good at making these mid-card wrestlers look a little bit better than they are on the night. I mean, that's not to discredit the wrestlers themselves, but there's a certain shine that comes with a Cody match, and he's very, very good at laying out matches in ways that complement his opponents as well. So, looking good has as much to do with them, but Cody's a real good facilitator. So, no, I'd like to see them keep on rolling with the Cody run for another couple of months. Sonny Kiss is going to look awesome tonight, because Sonny Kiss absolutely rules. More people need to realize this. More people will realize this after tonight. I think he has a very bright future in AEW, whether that's as a singles wrestler or in the tag team with Joey Janela. But the time isn't now for me. It will be in the future, and it will come. But let's just settle for a really cool performance in defeat for now, I think.
Plus, just imagine how much piss it will boil if MJF takes that title.
Exactly, man. Exactly. It writes itself.
Yeah,
it really
it does sometimes. William Russell gives us our final question of the day. Will says, I can no longer read any sentence that starts, "Eat this," and ends with "ever" without doing it in Adam's voice. What wrestler catchphrases do you see often but can't help but read without slipping into an impression?
Just the word "what" when it's either spoken on its own as a response to something or written down on its own as a response to something. How can you not do the Steve Austin bit? It's just deeply ingrained into literally everything we do. I mean, I'm sure there are loads more that I just can't think of at the moment. But yeah, the word "what," as soon as that happens in my head, immediately I see Steve Austin's face and hear his voice, and I am broken because of it. Thank you, wrestling.
I mean, "damn's" an obvious one, but is it a Tribe Called Quest who do the song called "Can I Kick It"?
Yes.
Yeah. I always go, "sucker" at the end of that. So,
fair enough.
and
Can you
let's be honest,
kick
I
it,
know
sucker?
this isn't exactly right, but I have to admit that I did get my other half with the whole, "And Louise, is that really what you think? It doesn't matter what you think." She was not best pleased. Don't know why she's still with me. Don't talk about that in the comments. Right, let's move on to today's ad finally. And once again, we should just make this a weekly segment. What's Oni Lorcan said on Twitter this week? He's killing the game. He tweeted, once again, all caps, "Just walked by Robert Stone and he was drinking water out of the pond like a cat and wouldn't look me in the eye." I mean, he's just great.
He's the best. Just throwing shade at Robert Stone, yeah. Cool.
What do you reckon to Robert Stone, Andy?
I think he's the worst thing on any wrestling show at the moment, and I mean that earnestly. I hate it. It's rubbish. Sorry, I can't stand it, and I'm not going to dress it up. It's crap.
I think the thing is, the guy behind Robert Stone is brilliant.
Yes. Yeah, he's really
If
talented.
you could give him, like, I slightly enjoy parts of it, even if he is quite blatantly a sort of homage to Tony Khan.
I mean, to be fair, right? If Brody Lee was still doing the Vince McMahon stuff, that was worse than the Tony Khan, Robert Stone stuff. But as a heel manager is supposed to get their comeuppance every once in a while, not every single week. It's just crap writing. It's not good.
I did enjoy when he projectile vomited into the ring though to give him a win. That did pop me, and him. I think last week when he got his foot or leg ran over by Shotzi Blackheart in a tank, the thing that popped me more wasn't his outrageous, acting. It was the fact I think they went to picture in picture whilst he was just going, "Ah!" Anyway, the new cereal that you need is just fantastic. But yeah, just tone it down a little bit.
Yeah, relax a bit with the writing. It's no shade on the guy. Like, the guy's very talented. We just said, like, he's just been served a massive pile of crap on a plate.
Look what he did in TNA in the past. Like, he was given a character, he goes all in on it.
Yeah, it's just like, you can't make a gourmet soup when your ingredients are horse piss, dead bees, and stingy nettles. It's just impossible.
That's a man coming from Scotland saying that. So
exactly. Staple diet.
Let us know your thoughts on that and all today's news stories in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to What Culture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. As I said, myself and the Dadley boys will be previewing the Wednesday Night War a little bit later on today. Plus, let us know your thoughts and Twitter questions on Twitter at WhatCulture WWE. Well, actually, they can follow both of us. You can follow Andy at
Andy H. Murray. The H stands for I'd thought of something, but I've forgotten it. So, Wednesday, but hump day. There we go.
There we go. Follow me at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. But for now, my thanks to Andy Murray. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.